right, you guys, I got a new project I'm working on. This is going to be different for a lot of people. I think some people are going to be kind of blown away, and I'm hoping I can maybe sell some of this because they don't make them yet. So niche in the market that I found that that I personally need, that if someone else needs, I'll probably make them a set. So this is what I got going on, you guys. I'm going to use my router and I'm going to cut something for my new ski boots. So this is what I got. I just bought these. These are Solomon Shift Pro 120s. They had a half off sale at Roundhouse. These are like 850 bucks. And they were like half off. I bought them for like 420. So I couldn't pass it up. I've always wanted AT boots. I'm trying to lighten up my ski setup, you guys. So it's got the AT bindings in it. But you guys probably, my skis aren't out here. I have binding plates, so I have Alpine bindings on my skis, and I have a binding plate. They're made by MFD. I'll try to show them to you guys later when I get down to the little garage. The problem with this is this is the toe piece for this boot. You can see it's an AT, so it's got like rubber on the bottom, so it's like an actual hiking boot. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's like a 15-degree slope on this. These boots are designed to hook into most newer bindings. So when I went to buy these boots, I specifically asked the place if they would fit my binding. They're like, yep, we got toe replacements, we put them on and they fit the older style bindings. I'm like, all right. I asked 3 times before I even had them heat mold these to my feet. They heat molded them to my feet, and then they found out they don't make this toe plate. Solomon doesn't make it yet for my bindings. So I'm gonna make it. I'm going to attempt to make it. Let's start with that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to do this on my router pretty easy. I got a piece of 3/4 inch thick. This is black nylon that I'm gonna make it out of. Literally the only problem with this toe piece is, you guys, this slider that's supposed to mount up with my binding is at an angle. It needs to be flat, and it needs to be about right here. So by replacing this whole toe piece with a piece of that nylon that will bolt into here and it'll be flat, should fix my problem, so it'll allow my binding to release still until I can buy a full AT setup, you guys. For you guys that don't know what AT is, it's Alpine touring, so you can walk in your skis, you put skins on your skis, and you can hike in somewhere, ski out. I just have a little bit different setup than most people do because I got MFD plates, and I'll try to show you guys that here in a little bit once I walk down to where my skis are. But for right now, this is what I'm going to try to make. So this clearance right here is a problem. This catches on my binding, and since it's rubber, it grips and it doesn't release. So if your boot won't release, guess what breaks? Your leg breaks, not your binding, anything else. Your bone will break before this will probably release. And I literally have my bindings, they're not buried, but they're pretty close because I don't want my skis coming off when I'm skiing. So I have mine set about 12 on my dim settings so they do not release. So you can imagine at a dim 12, to get those to release is going to be a pretty big hit, and then I have this rubber holding it up even worse. So the heel's not a problem. The heel seems to be working fine. It's just this toe piece. So usually when you buy these, you guys, you get them in a set, a toe and a heel. The heel on mine doesn't seem to be a problem. It releases because this plastic slider is in the right spot. It will release. It's just a toe that won't. It's a problem because of this angle mainly. But because of that, you guys, hopefully you can see this boot is flat right here. So I'll have a 1/4 inch piece here, but it angles right here. So you guys haven't seen me cut any angles or anything on this, and I have not done it yet. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this lower section flat, then I'm gonna shim this or make a jig that holds it up at that angle to cut this lower section here. That way I can keep my thickness and it'll still match that angle. So the whole bottom of this boot will end up being flat, and I'll cut that angle on the top side and put these holes in. Oh, and I actually, when I was first looking at this, I thought these counter bores were at this going at this angle with this toe piece, but now that I'm looking at the screws, they're going straight in. So the screws are going straight in. So it should be pretty easy to make this. It's just a matter of clocking that, whatever this angle is, which I'm gonna have to figure out, you guys. I kind of started doing some measurements here of this piece, kind of writing them down the other night. So I'm gonna start putting that into my software for my router. I'm just gonna do the design section. We're trying to go skiing this weekend. I might have to use my old boots one more time, but I'd like to get these done and tested, and make an extra set so I can send it down to Bozeman where I bought these boots from and tell them, be like, hey, if anyone else is looking for these, here's a sample pack, let me know and I can start selling these, because there's no niche for this right now. Nobody makes them. Not even Solomon makes them from what I can see. They literally called every dealer in Bozeman, Big Sky, Helena. They couldn't find them. Even their Solomon dealer said, nope, not till next year. So hopefully I can get a jump on this and I can start making these for the people that need them this year. And I don't know how many that's going to be, but hopefully it'll be enough to make me a little bit of money. These, you know, I should be able to knock these out pretty quick. Most of the other ones look like they sell for anywhere from about, I don't know, 30 to 60, 80 bucks, something like that. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to try to get this figured out tonight, hopefully, so I can test this weekend, because we're going to try to go skiing up here at the Great Divide. So I'm going to get on my software. I'm going to start doing that. Looks like the GoPro's kind of working, so maybe I can show you a little bit of how I do this. Wish I had a tripod. Alright, Carbide Create. So this is my software, you guys. It's called Carbide Create. So let's see, we're gonna go design, setup. So I'm gonna program this like I'm gonna use this piece of plastic, even though I'm gonna cut it out of wood first. Man, I really need a tripod, like super bad. I think when I get my new camera, I'm gonna buy a tripod. Okay, so I've moved this down on my grid to this corner because that's essentially 0, 0. That way I don't have to think about any math. I can just do it here. I've got everything grouped together. So I can kind of get this drawn up. I'm kind of working through, you can see the tops of these ones. They got a flat on them. That lines up with the boot. That indexes this sole to the bottom of the boot. So I'm going to work on trying to get those done. I did get my distance from here to here, from hole to hole, good that way and this way. It looks like I'm good from edge to edge too, so. All right, Dylan. We are still on my ski boots. Okay, guys. I was letting my GoPro. I thought I was letting my GoPro charge. It's still at 16%. It's been charging, plugged in this entire time. Anyways, so I went from my design side. So I got design here, and then if you guys can see up here in the corner, I got my toolpath side. So I started doing this. You see a lot of my toolpaths here. So what I got going on here, so the first thing it's going to do is going to punch these two holes out to a 1/4 inch hole. As I drag through these, you guys will start seeing these change. So I'm doing my 2 1/4 inch holes. Then I'm going to profile my boss. Then I'm going to, I believe that's the, that's actually going to contour the outside of that pocket. Which, now that I figured out something with this that I didn't know before. This one is going to cut the top of the bosses down to height. That is going to cut out the outside shape and leave all my tabs. Then this one is going to, we're going to move that. That's got to go up here. Let's see the skin. Holes. Profile the outside of the boss. Not sure why I did that one. Oh, I had to do this one, you guys, to get these corners right here. Essentially, it's I made it profile the outside of this. And it's actually a contour function here. I actually made it contour that because I was missing a little piece out here in the corner. So I did that with no offset. Maybe I should click through each one of these. So here's my hole. I'm doing the holes right here. So when you click on this is what pops up. So this shows you your end mill. It's a 1/4 inch end mill. I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch deep because I got 3/4 inch material. I did PEC with full retract, so it's going to in and out. And I'm using a flat bottom end mill, so I want to clear those chips out. That's why I'm doing it. PEC distance is 125, so 1/8 of an inch. So that is that tool path. The next one, it's going to do the outside of the boss. And I have it set at 1/2 an inch. So as you guys can see, I'm going to have 3/4 material. Did I do that right? I got to double check my math here, you guys. I'm glad I'm going back through this. So I'm literally going to stinger the height of this. I think it's 1/8 inch. Yeah, so the height of that boss from there to the flat, that's 1/8 of an inch, and then I need 250 under that. Just gonna double check my math here real quick. 250, 1/8 inch, that's 375. My Z set on the bottom. So yeah, I messed that up. Z set on the bottom, so I need 1/4 and 1/8, so that's 375. So essentially what I got here is, so this, where you see the black part of this boot, that needs to be 1/4 inch, that needs to be 1/8, so I need 375. You guys know I'm setting my Z on the bottom of my material, so I need 1/4, 375, even though my material's max depth. Yeah, that's right. I had to make sure that was right, you guys. This is where, like, the technical, like, doing the math and stuff, you got to make sure you're right. You can crash machines real easy this way. So I got 1/4 and 1/8, so I'm at 375. I actually had that wrong, so I just changed it. We're still using the 1/4 inch end mill. It's flat bottom end mill. It's like a little 3 flute that I have. 375 outside right. That'll go around the boss. Okay. This one. So this is profiling the outside of this. It needs to be quarter. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, because this is cutting the outside of this design. And the only reason I'm running that is so I can clean up these two corners. It wasn't getting them in my simulation. I'll show you guys the simulation when I'm done. No offset, 1/4 inch end mill, same end mill. So this one is going to cut the top of my boss height right here, up on the top of this. So I need it. Oh crap! I got to back up. Make sure I did this right. Through hole. So that one should be. I messed this up, you guys. That one should be 1/4. 1/4. All right, this is why I double check and triple check to make sure that this is right. So the first one is going to drill my 2 holes out. Let's see how deep we're going. We're going 3/4 of an inch. That's my material thickness. That's what we want to do. It's going to take it all the way to 0. The next one, this cuts around the outside of this boss out here. So I need this thickness. That's going to be 1/4 inch thick, which I got this now set at 1/4 inch. It's 1/4 inch end mill. That one's good. This one is also going to be at 1/4 inch. It cuts this outside periphery of right here. I got a couple little spots right here that weren't getting picked up, so that's why I ran that as a contour, no offset. It's also going to be at a 1/4 inch thick. No offset. Yep. This one is going to cut the top of this boss, this height right here, from my 3/4 inch material. So I need 1/4 plus 1/8, which is 3/8. I'm going to double check that again. I'm pretty sure it's 3/8. 1/4 plus 250, 3/8, 375. So we'll double check that that's not that one, this one. 375. So our height is right there. 1/4 inch end mill, we're good. This one should be, it'll pocket all this center. So essentially it's cutting around these bosses and getting all this out of here. That should be 1/4 inch also. And I have it set at half. That ain't gonna work. Okay. And the last one's gonna cut this periphery and leave all these tabs. That should be it. 3/4 inch deep. 3/4 inch deep. 1/4 inch, 105, 201, 1/4 inch end mill. Outside right, contoured, so that'll cut the outside. I might have to sand a little bit in this corner right here, you guys, just because you're going to catch the radius of the 1/4 inch end mill. So I might have to whittle at that a little bit with the sander. So we're going to click on our simulation here. Should pop up our simulation. And it's wrong. Anybody see the problem? These are supposed to be bosses, not counterbores. So I have something wrong here depth-wise. So we're going to hide that. We're going to start back over. So through the holes, outside periphery. Picks up the periphery. It's got to be that one. 1/4, 8, that's 375. These other ones should be set at 1/4. $250. Oh, geez. I did that backwards, you guys. So that one I want to go, that drills my holes 3/4 of an inch. So this one, I gotta kind of subtract this backwards, you guys. I did it the wrong way. I was thinking from 0. It's getting late, my brain, it's like 10:30 at night, you guys. So if that's 3/4, am I thinking about that wrong? So 1/4, an 1/8. Now it's drilling all the way through. Max depth, 1/4 inch. Oh gosh, maybe I should set this from the top. It knows my material's 3/4 though. That should be working. I'm kind of wondering if, even though it knows it's 3/4, it still wants me. It wants a depth that the end mill is going into the material. Even though my Z set at the bottom, it still wants to know how deep my end mill is going. So I'm gonna have to subtract all this backwards, I'm guessing. And that's why I'm getting a counterbore there, and these are high. Let's try that, see if I can get that to work. That one's through. So this one should be half. No. Yeah, half. That one should also be half. So recorder. So that one should be right. So that's the top of my thing. So if I got 3/4 material, I want 1/4 on the bottom, 1/8 of an inch on top. It should be 3/8 of an inch out of, from the top down. Okay. Whoop. I didn't see what that was cutting. So that one should actually be half also. That one should be 3/4. Okay. Hey, that looks more radical. Yeah, I was just doing some math wrong, you guys. It's late. I'm getting a little sleepy, I'm not gonna lie. So now you can see I got my boss, my hole, my boss, my hole. Let's cut the whole periphery out of this thing. And I have, you can see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs. Those are 100 thou thick, 300 wide. I'll cut that out of there, and then I'll work on making my jig to tip this at an angle to put these other 2 counterbores in. So we're getting there. I think this is actually gonna work, you guys. I know it's gonna work. I'm gonna make it work. The only thing you guys see, I didn't add this radius. This was gonna be too tough. I think what I'm gonna do is, once I cut this, I'll screw this in the bottom of the boot, and then I'll scribe the front of this, and I'll cut it by hand, sand it smooth. Unless I can come up with a better way to get that. Because there's, like I said, there's a radius here, and then you got your overarching radius over the top of those two. So there's literally 1, 2, 3 radiuses here. I don't know what they are. Currently, I have no way to figure it out right now. I'm still racking my brain how to figure it out. We'll get there though, I'm sure. But you can see that's going to allow me to knock this piece out of here. Then we will start working on this section. This will be a whole separate program to cut this section here. Then I'm going to have to flip it and do counterbores. I may do counterbores by hand. Shit, I wonder if I should start with those. This is why you do this, you guys. So I might start my program and do these 4 counterbores. Flip the material. That's going to be pretty tough to try to clock that side to side without making some fixturing. I think we're just going to drill these by hand for right now. If I start going into full production on these and people actually want them, then I'll start figuring out a way to clock those, which should be pretty easy, because if I cut this side, I should be able to flip it onto because I'll have essentially this step right here that you guys can see right here. Flip that onto a fixture, counterboard this side, flip it back onto another fixture, and then finish this last little section here. So it'll be like 3 setups to do these. And there's probably ways to refine that too, you guys. This is just kind of roughing it out to get mine done. People want them, then I'll start whittling away at ways to refine my process here. But that's kind of where we're at. I think I'm gonna save this and go in the house. It's like 10:30, and I have another project. We want to go skiing this weekend. My wife's actually gonna go skiing, so I'm kind of excited about that. Bought her skis a few years ago and she hasn't went, so she's went a couple times, but just bunny hill stuff. So she said she wanted to go actually ski, so we're gonna try to make that happen this weekend. I don't know if it's gonna be, I doubt it's gonna be tomorrow, because I gotta work on that MG, get that roll cage done. Once I get that done, then we'll probably go skiing, I'm guessing Saturday. Probably meet my dad up there. We got season pass for next year to sign up for, so gotta get that done too. But I think we're gonna call it a night. I'll get back with you guys tomorrow once I start figuring this out. I'm close, so we're getting there. You guys can see it's starting to come together. We're starting to get an actual shape in there. You can see our bosses, our holes. That'll be our angled piece eventually. Yeah, we're getting there. We're gonna save this right now, right here. Save G codes. Go to Chad CNC files. We're gonna name it, I think it was ski boot something. I saved the design already. I just try to save the design, and the NC file is the same name. Oh, I'm about to die, you guys. I'm gonna shut you off. I'm gonna get this saved and I'll hit you up tomorrow.